That's right. It's a beautiful day. And all of a sudden, these three men jump out of nowhere and hold some pew pews on us. And they steal um, Lester, the boyfriend's wallet, which has all his credit cards, everything in it. And they beat him, they pistol whipped him pretty good. So they leave, and we're kind of freaking out because I'd never had too many issues, and I wasn't familiar with that area. That was a good distance from where I lived in the French Quarter. So we were trying to figure out what to do because this is pre cell phone. And along came these two men. They jumped out of a van. They said, "Hey, you guys okay?" And we're like, "Well, they beat him up, yada, yada, yada." So they said, "Well, here, we'll help you." So they threw our bikes in the back of their van. And we got in, and they took us by my friend's house, and we dropped our bikes off. And then we went on to the hospital where they dropped us off. And I said, "Well, hey, how can we get a hold of you later?" And they're like, "Oh, here you go." And they handed me a card. Well, I didn't look at it. I just stuffed it in my back pocket. And so, like, later that day or maybe the next morning, I decided to look, so we could like thank them for being so helpful. And all it said was superheroes on it. There was no phone number, no nothing. And so to this day, I have no idea who they were, you know, how to thank them, nothing. It was the crazy, if I didn't know better, I'd think that I imagined all this stuff, but I really didn't because I know that he took us and dropped us off at the hospital. So, but yeah, that was a little bit on the interesting side. They were very nice men. At that point in time, I'm like, hey, we've already been robbed and Lester's been beat up. So, I mean, what's the worst thing can happen? We get in a van with a couple strange men. At that point, I wasn't caring. I was taking my chances, but not that I recommend that. Um, and, that was back when things were a little bit safer than they are now. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Anyhow, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready to hang up the live. And then I don't know, is there any particular time that's better than others for a live this evening? Let's see. It's 5 o'clock. Well, it's 4:48. Excuse me. I don't know. Maybe like 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern. That'd be like 9 o'clock would be 4 hours from now. Would that give people time to do their thing? Okay, so if it was 9 my time, it'd be 8 your time. And it would be 7 Mountain Time. It'd be 6 o'clock for Cooley. So I can